So we're live on Facebook, we're live on Zoom, and for friends who are watching this after on YouTube, thank you for joining. Blessings. All good to see you. Let me just fix the video settings here. It looks like I'm as much as I can do. There we go. Yeah. All right, awesome. Love having you all here. Well, today is about the hips, hams, and thighs. When we have tightness or weakness or imbalances in our hips area, the hamstring area, or the quadricep area, so all of this space where we use our legs for biking, hiking, running, that sort of thing, there we can create anxiety in the low back. So if you have experienced low back pain, this class is meant for you. Now, a caveat or a warning here, we are going to do Hanumanasana as our apex pose. You can do that half Ardha, which is a half split. And I'll walk you through the whole journey. So taking it one step at a time, one breath at a time. We'll start seated, so we'll back up here. And if you have a steady water bottle, it can also double as a block for you. I'll just grab a quick drink here. I had some requests for what I eat in the day. I want to share just a quick morning routine with you so that if you don't have one, you can incorporate some of these practices and cleansing rituals that are healthy habits in your everyday. When I first wake up, I always rinse my mouth with cold water and then do a tongue scrape. You can use a spoon for that. And a tongue scraping is just going from the back of the tongue forward to get all the bacteria and the stuff that's built up overnight out of the mouth. And then a oil pulling, which I simply use coconut oil with a drop of clove. Clove is very excellent for reducing bacteria, and it's good for the gums. So I oil pull. This is all while I'm getting dressed. Obviously elimination, using the restroom probably first. And then I brush my teeth. So I cleanse the palate and get my mouth in tip-top shape. Then I'm ready for a drink of water. 12 to 16 ounces in the morning, it's helpful. So we're made simply of water. And the first thing you want to do in the morning is like infuse or wake up the body with water, nourishment. The second thing is a breath. And I will usually go outside and do a breath of joy or something where I plant my feet into the earth, and then I can simply just take some deep, long breaths. And any breath will do. I'm going to teach you today in our yoga practice, we'll be doing a breath practice, which would count as your breathing ritual. We'll do Bhastrika today just to get some cleansing action through the body. And then I usually will drink tea or some kind of ceremonial cacao, which is infused with turmeric, cinnamon, and then I might put a little matcha green tea in it. And that's a warm drink. I'll likely drink that more cool in the summertime. So that's my morning ritual, just to give you an idea. I'll do some other videos as well to help or share with you what I eat in the day. That's come up a little bit, and I'm happy to do that. So without further ado, we'll just move slightly back and forth, get a comfortable seat, and begin your deep breathing, Ujjayi breath. It's one we can always rely on. Breathing in deeply, and exhale through a straw, pulling the navel back. Inhale through the nose, exhale through a straw, and this way undulating the spine, forward and back. Inhale and exhale. Speed that up just a little bit. We'll use the arms. Pull it in. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. 10 more. Eight. 7. Strong inhale. 5 more. 4. 3. 2. 1. Bring the arms overhead. Inhale, hold the breath at the top. And exhale, release, hands to heart. Bring the arms wide out and up. Inhale through the nose, and then we'll force it down. Exhale through the mouth with a ha. 10 of these. Inhale. Ha. 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 5 more. Ha. 4. Ha. 3. Ha. 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 And bring the arms up. Inhale. Interlace the fingers. Press to the sky. Pull up through the midline using Mula Bandha. And exhale, release. One more time this time. 20. Through the nose and exhale, begin. Ha. 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 That's 10. Ha. 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 5 more. Ha. 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 And ha. One more. Arms to the sky, interlace the fingers. Breathe in. Now hold the breath. If you can hold it for 20 seconds. That's 10. That's 20 and release. Exhale all the breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Now get up and over to your right. And open the side body. And to the left. Now the first thing with the hips, hams, and thighs, I think, is this quadratus lumborum, the QL, which is one of the muscles that keeps our lower half of the pelvic bowl attached to the upper half, the spine, via the spine. And those muscles have to work really hard, right? Or we would pull in half, we'd just simply crumble. So the attachments, the ligaments, the tendons tend to get a little tender in the insertional origin, the tendons, not so much the ligaments. Ligaments will have to work hard if our muscles aren't flexible as well as strength. So we want to build strength and flexibility in equal measure. One more time here. Let's bring it back to center, hands on the knees, and circumduct so you can feel, again, those upper hip, back of the hip area where the QL is, and get it very stretchy. Let's go in the opposite direction here. Going to your left, to my right. 2 more. And last one. Excellent. And take the legs all the way out. Shake. Wiggle the feet side to side. I'll turn. You can see. And then circle through the ankles and the knees. Reverse that action. Oh yeah. And then step on the gas pedal, alternating right and left. The juiciness of getting into the feet. And if you've been doing a lot of hiking, biking, walking, just more outdoor, because the weather is here in Utah, it's getting a lot nicer. And so we want to be outside more, gardening. And those activities require our body to be healthy and well and balanced. So let's cross the ankles and just take our first downward facing dog, just stretching it all the way out. Heels towards the floor, hips to the sky. And then take a little bend in the knee. So that it's coming, your knees are bending halfway towards the floor. The hands are really gripping the mat very energetically through the pads of the fingers. Then pull the heart forward as the hips move back in the opposite direction. So we get an arch right here in the low back and move that arch into the upper back. You start to invert the heart, melting forward, invert the spine, and pull the ribs in to support the low back. And press it all the way back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet halfway to your hands and spread the feet a little bit wider. Take the weight back into the heels, bend the knees and hinge. So I'm inching my hands forward and cantilevering the hips back. So that really will open and lengthen this whole side of the body here. And bring the hips directly over the heels. Plant the left hand, open the right arm in a little twist. And exhale, right hand to the floor, left arm raising up. Left arm to the floor. Shift the hips over to the right. And the hands over to the left. Make a little bend in your right knee. So we cantilever now, one direction. Hold. Give me a little pulse to the right knee. And extend the arms over to the left and feel that deeper stretch right into the hip, the whole length of the side body and the armpit, yeah, for sure. Come back to center, walk your hands over to the right now and shift the hips off to the left. So my hips from the back side will look like a straight plumb line from the left hip running down to the ankle. And my right leg's slanted at a diagonal. And I'm going to accentuate that by bending the left knee, keeping the hands planted, and that's going to open the hip even more. So the cantilever is I'm extending forward through the arms and pressing back through the left hip. A little bend and straighten in the left leg. Then come back to center. Release the hips in a little circle. Bring the feet together. Inhale to a bent knee, flat back. Heart lifted. Let's bring it above the head, above the heart, the hips below. And bring your elbows to the knees. Pause right here. So we're going to flat back. And hands gently to the thighs and roll all the way up. We want to come up slowly from that upside down position so we don't pass out. And then walk to the top of your mat. We'll be opening up a lot of hip, ham, and thigh work today. Inhale, arms overhead. So we'll take it one step at a time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the left leg to the back of the mat and hold. You're going to charge the chest forward on the exhale, and then inhale, lift the hip, pull the heel back, and drop the forehead towards the shin. Let's do that again. Inhale, bend the front knee. We're in a low lunge. Exhale, movement to the hip, hamstrings, and thighs. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Again. And one last time. Step your right leg back to meet your left. Downward facing dog. Inhale into a high push-up position. Bend the knees and then take it back. Let's rotate here and give a little wave, Shakti wave. A generous amount of movement. Then on your last one, come forward into that high plank position. Bring the knees to the floor and lower down. Chest and shin or Chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. And exhale back into downward dog. Where the right leg, let's see, nope, the left leg reaches up. Inhale, and then step all the way through. Bring your back foot in to meet your front leg. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, round it down and in. Inhale, all the way to standing. Palms together, exhale, hands to the heart center. We'll repeat that same action to the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. And gently bring, or keep the knee off the floor. Charge the heart forward on an inhale. Stretch the back heel to the back wall. Front shin forward. Exhale, push the floor away with the front leg and bow forward. Inhale to a bend. And we're going through these two motions to open the hip, hip flexor, hamstring. And exhale, elevator lift with the hip. Inhale, bend forward, low lunge. Exhale, back. Let's go one more. Step to the back edge of the mat. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come into a high push-up position. Bring the knees to the floor and bend the elbows. Chaturanga. Release to the floor into low cobra. So it can stay low or a little bit high or even all the way. With air underneath the thighs and the knees, that's an upward facing dog. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. The right leg lifts, inhale. And then carry the leg all the way forward to bring the foot to your hand. Push off with the back foot. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop in and down. Inhale, come all the way to an upright position, arms overhead, and exhale, hands to your heart center. I'm going to move some hair out of the way here. So we're going to take this again, right and left, and each time we go just a little bit deeper in some form for the hips, hams, and thighs. So from the top of your mat, inhale, bring the arms once again overhead here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step left leg to the back edge of the mat, bringing the knee gently to the floor. This time, arms overhead, palms together, stretch long. Hold 3, 2. Remember not to sink the back rib towards the hip. You're going to lift that back rib, charge the heart upward, and get a little more intensity in the front heel. 1, exhale, hands to the earth. Step all the way back, downward facing dog. Inhale to the top of a push-up. Exhale, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or a low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky. Inhale. Bend the knee, open the hip, and let's rotate through the ankle. So we'll pause, hold here for a moment. Going both directions. And then step through to the top of the mat. Push off with the back foot and come all the way forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop in and down. Inhale, all the way to standing. Push through the feet, arms extend upward, palms together, hands to the heart. And we'll finish that sequence on the left side. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the right leg back with the knee gently coming to the back, to the floor. Reach the arms overhead. Inhale, hold 3. So the palms are together, bicep to the ear. 2, raise the back ribs away from the back hip. 1, lots of space, energy, both hands to the floor. And now step back, downward facing dog. We're building strength and stamina. Inhale, come forward into the top of a push-up. So you always have the option of the knees coming to the floor. And Ashtangasana, which is my favorite, is the bending of the elbow, the hips stay elevated, and you bring the chest and chin to the mat. Now, for some friends, that's a little bit rough on the elbows, okay, and I understand that. So you're just gonna take a Chaturanga. So you come down as far towards the floor as you can hold without collapsing. Then release the hips into the earth and come into a low cobra. And that's gonna build strength in the arm, for sure. Exhale all the way back into downward facing dog. And we take the right leg, this time up to the sky, bend the knee and open through the hip, rotating through the ankle. Bring the right leg forward, knee to chest, and then unfurl the leg, stepping right hand to right, or right foot to right hand, push off with the back foot into a forward fold with extension first, and then exhale, lay it all out, head towards the floor. Inhale, let's come all the way back up to standing. Bring the palms together and exhale. Drop the hands right into the heart. Full breath in, full breath out. And we're going to take the right leg and step it wide, coming out into star pose or Tarasana. Full deep long breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. And then bring the hands to the hips. Take the hips back and lean forward with the heart. Now, the weight's going to be in the heels, the toes are pointing forward, and the belly is lifted and toned. Then we're going to sweep, if it feels good to you, you can stay right here, or sweep the arms forward into Hakini. Then take a little micro bend in the knee so we're not pushing into the back of the leg. Lower down slowly in a hinge action till the hands meet the carpet or hands meet the floor. Grip the floor strongly with the pads of the fingers or hold the carpet and then cantilever back. So the hips are spreading wide, extending towards the wall behind you. We call this Prasarita hinge, and the weight's back in the heels. And we're going to release that. We did all of this when we had our feet a little closer together. So we're repeating the same steps. Right hand underneath you, left arm to the sky. This time with wide legs, so wide angle, and we're doing all of the same steps. Then release the left hand to the floor, right arm comes up. Breathe. Make sure your palm is facing the direction you're twisting. Sometimes the palm goes like that, and we get the shoulder coming forward here. So we want the shoulder to remain on the back, palm high-fiving the side wall, and then release that action. And we're going to shift the hips off to the right slightly, walk the hands to the left, and then bend your right knee. Remember, we did this with a little shorter stance between the feet. Now we're doing it with a wider stance between the feet. If you want, you can clasp the right hand around the left ankle and then take your right knee tracking directly over the second and third toe. So you have to widen the thigh, don't let it bow in, and hold that. It's like a bow and arrow. And then release, coming back to center, both hands, reach in front. Pause for a breath. It takes a lot of energy to stretch a muscle, just as much as it takes to strengthen a muscle. So if we keep that in mind, we won't overdo it. And then walk hands over to your left side and shift the hips to the right. So just a little bit of tipping in the hip, not much. Then I'll bend the right knee and immediately start feeling that inner tug on the inner thigh. So lessen the intensity if it's necessary by keeping the leg a little straighter here, right? Or using a block. I'm going to take right hand underneath and clasp around the ankle and then give it a little pull. This whole thing can be done with narrower legs, just like we did before. So the challenge is to take the feet slightly wider, and I'm taking them quite a bit wider. Come back to center, releasing all of that. Now we're going to turn the toes out, the heels come in a little bit, bend your right knee, or left knee, sorry, coming right over second and third toe, and walk the hands so they're supporting you. Now we're in Skandasana, or a half Malasana. Dig the heel in and pull back. So your shin pops upward, okay? You could extend the heel out, but that has a tendency to put some hyperextension in the knee. There's nothing wrong with locking the knee out either. But what I'd like to do is instead of sagging into the hamstring muscle, I want you to lengthen and strengthen at the same time. And we come back to center. Ooh, that's a deep release in the hip flexor as well. And we come down to the other side. Alternatively, you're right here. So you could be up as high as you'd like. And on the ball of the foot or on the heel, pull back. Yes, and with the chair. So this all could be modified to suit you. If you're unsure, something to remember, reducing the pose can help open it up more. So this is, I would say, not a reduction. This would be a reduction where we lift the hips, or we bring an elbow to the thigh, or we take it a little bit higher. So we reduce the angle in the knee to support more opening for our own body. You get to listen to your own body and see where that's appropriate for you. Let's everybody come all the way back up. Keep the heels in, the toes turned out. And we'll take this side to side like airplane wings or heart wings here, bending the right knee and taking it as low to the floor as you'd like, crossing the hands in front and then taking it to the right side. If I'm hearing you, now I'm going left, you're going left, and now we're going right. And pardon me, because I keep getting confused about the mirroring here. Exhale, let's go one more time each side. You could really take this very far down if you'd like, and then move it into a ninja style. where the toe comes up. And we go back and forth with an elbow to the knee for support. Hands could stay here, or you can challenge yourself to a dual. Let's go one more time. Each side. And then come back. Turn the toes in. Hands to the waist. Inhale, lift the sternum to the sky, and then exhale. Taking in a deeper, wide angle forward fold. Forehead coming all the way to the floor. Plant the hands in between the feet, and then draw the arm bone, head of the arm bone towards the back body. So right here, the head of the arm bone, that's moving towards the front body. I want to move it towards the back body, right? So my shoulder blades are on the back, and I'm supported. For those of you who have a headstand in your practice, you could take this into a wide-legged headstand, Sirsasana 2, with the fingers on the ground. I won't show that. I mean, where you could be here, you could take the legs all the way up to the sky if you'd like. And while we're just maintaining the forward fold, and then inhale, come all the way back out. Exhale, jump the feet together and come into toe stand. So we release the hamstrings after that toe stand. One hand to the heart, and then the other hand to the heart, balancing in a toe stand. This is great for the soles of your feet as well. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Alternatively, you could have the heels on the ground and you're just here. So same thing. All right, from our toe stand, let's rise up. Bring the heels to the ground, push into the floor, and come all the way to standing. Arms overhead, palms together, then clasp the wrist, and let's take a crescent over to the left. That feels so much more open. Or, I'm sorry, crescent to the right. Inhale back to center, switch the hand and crescent to the left. If I'm mirroring you, I'm trying to mirror you as I am forward facing here. Inhale, come back to center. Let's take it again. The hips are offset slightly. And one more time. Crescent lunge. And the crescent lunge has to have a tone here, and the ribs anchored in, press through the inner ball and heel of the feet. And stretch long and tall. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, release. And relax the head. Shake the hands out. And then for this next piece, we are going to use a block. So if you want to grab a block, and alternatively, if you had a little tennis ball or something a little bit bigger, we're going to put that in the upper inner thigh. Even a pillow would work. So a rolled up towel, anything, a pillow here would work. Upper inner thigh. That looks really silly, but I'm going to use a block. All right. This looks silly enough. We're going to bend the knees here and squeeze the inner thighs. Your inner thighs are the warriors of the low back. Now, when they're weakened, that is because the hips are too tight, or the hips are tight because the inner thighs may not be as strong as the outer thighs. So we want that balance again. So here, a little tone, or bend in the knee, tone the inner thighs, and then roll the thighs back. So if this was a Pez dispenser, we'd be pressing it back and down. So you feel the inner thighs move towards the back body, towards the back. That's going to root the femur bones into the hip socket, have a slight tilt of the pelvis, and then I'm going to anchor the ribs in, and you'll see my low back get a little more length in it and tone. Bring the arms overhead, And drop just the left arm or right arm. So left arm comes up and over. Back to center and to the other side. Again, that deep opening for the QL and a big long stretch. So every time we come to neutral, you should feel the hips become very level. And then when we tip, we're keeping the hips level to stretch that whole side of the body. Come back to center, hips are level, they stay level. You come over. And we'll take it one more time, opposite direction. And then come back to center. A little more strengthening to the inner thighs. Come up onto the balls of the feet. Maybe. There we go. And bow forward, taking the fingers back. Inhale, press the heels down and bring the arms overhead. Exhale, heels up, arms back, bow forward. Inhale, heels down, arms up. 3 more times. Lifting the heels off the ground, pressing back down. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, push into the balls of the feet, lift the heels, hold. Exhale, down. 1 more time. You lift the heels, balance. Arms overhead. Can you feel your inner thighs yet? You squeeze the block. Yes? 1 more time, 1 more time. Squeeze the block. Or squeeze the inner thighs. Hold. And then all the way up. Release and let go of the block. Okay? We'll keep the blocks handy. Or again, if you have a water bottle, that works as well. Come to the top. And shake the legs out. So we're going for a little deeper intensity with the hips, hams, and thighs. Inhale the arms overhead. Oh, hey, before we do that, let's bring one hand down. So right hand to right, catch the foot. Keep parallel. Let's give a good standing quad stretch before we get to the ground. So you're bringing the heel in. One hand is on the wall to stand. If you feel pretty stable, bring both hands around and then open the chest, but don't collapse in the low back ribs, lifting away from the hip. So if you tone the front ribs or anchor them towards the hip, you're going to feel more length and openness. You can open the shoulders, heel to the glute, hold. The action of dropping the tailbone right straight down towards the heel can really open the quad more, especially if you're giving some pressure of the foot into the hand. That feels mighty good, and I can take it even deeper and deeper and deeper. And then we're going to release that, letting go to the earth, shake the legs. Well, we're going to do the second side, but before you do, just take an assessment in a forward fold and see if you feel a difference between your right and left side. It's interesting, the combination of how our muscles are put together and the antagonist versus the mover. Like right now, my hamstring on the right side feels more open because I have opened the right quadricep. I don't know if that's for you, but it's very subtle. And I can feel that it's a little easier on my right hamstring in that forward fold. Well, let's balance it out. Come to standing. Catch the left foot, the left hand. Again, the thighs are parallel. We'll take the right arm all the way up, bring it around. And you know, this routine is going to be on YouTube. If you want to revisit it, I would highly recommend doing this a few times a week, a couple times, until you really get used to this, the feeling in the body of having open hips, open hamstrings, and open quads is just amazing. We get so tight right there from sitting all day, from atrophying, from commanding ourselves to walk up a mountain. That's all going to feed into the tightening of the muscle. The strengthening is good. Tightness is a weakness. Okay, so imbalanced causes weakness in other areas. 2 more breaths here. Open the chest, stand tall. Heel to the glute. Press the knee down. That's beautiful. Nice and open. And then release that leg to the floor. We'll bring both arms overhead. And take a forward fold. Inhale, stepping the left leg back. The right leg is forward. We're going to come into a lunge posture again. This time with the right arm coming inside the right leg. Take a little pulse. So we're taking it forward and back. If you have a block here, that's perfectly legit. Bang, a helpful, handy item to have. Then we're going to bring the back knee gently to the floor. Okay, if that feels good to you. You may want a blanket and a form, if that's accessible, to your block. If you want to bring the forearm to the floor, have at it. You can try that one too. And then we'll bring the palms together, both forearms to the block or possibly to the floor, and give a little pulse. I'm going to take this into a monkey stretch where we absolutely get a deeper stretch for the hamstring. So coming up, back up onto the hands, or just turn the right toe out. Left hand to the outside edge of your mat and bring the right arm hand inside the knee and then gently coax it open. Hold 3. Hold 2. Full deep long breath. Hold 1. Yeah, feeling that in my hip, pretty good. And then pull the knee back to center, the heel back, and come on top of the quadricep for the back leg so you can bend the knee. I'm going to stretch the right arm all the way forward. And then open to the front. And a big rainbow hand. Try to touch your back heel. And if you can, clasp the toes. Press it open. Hold 3, 2, 1. Bring the heel in towards the glute. And that's a deep stretch for the quad. You really need to watch and stay off of the kneecap. An optional way to do this is on the floor. So I'd have my whole belly on the ground, both legs stretched out, and just the left leg bent. So I'm catching a foot. And instead of opposite hand to foot, same hand to foot here. Okay, let's come out of that. Release gently. Yes. And step all the way back into a downward facing dog. Oh yeah. Second side. Wow, good thing we don't have 3 sides. We just have 2. And that's awesome. So we can even it out. Step your left forward. Bring the hands inside. Give a little pulse. So we keep the back knee elevated. And this is your deepening. You're letting the hips really way towards the floor. At the same time, don't give out in your quad, lifting up and out through the back heel. So your stamina, your strength here is that back leg staying strong. Now, when it's time, we'll bring the knee to the floor, elbow to the block. So from this side, elbow to the block. both elbows to the block if you'd like, right? So nobody's telling you what you have to do. This is what you get to do, what feels best and most important in your body. You could be up here on the block. Okay, and some friends are going to feel the sensation. They won't feel it until they get all the way into this deeper stretch. It's totally up to you. And bring the hands back. Turn the toe out to the edge of your mat. The right hand's going to come onto the opposite edge of the mat. And then we'll gently rotate open. Yeah. We're almost at our apex pose. We're getting ready for Hanumanasana today. Good, gigantic split. I know that sounds daunting. It won't be. It will be fine. I promise. Come back to center. Stretch the left arm forward. And then drag your back knee. So you're off the kneecap and bending the back leg. Circle the arm in a big rainbow fashion towards the back foot. As you catch the foot, press the foot into the hand. Open the heart. And then gently hug the hamstring closer. So you're going to draw the heel in towards the glute and open the quad. Don't let your hip drop here. You want to push down through the front heel and the back knee and lift the hip slightly towards the heel. Yeah, it's intense for sure. An alternate way, up here, or alternatively, I'll show that floor position. See, the same knee is bent, but now I am taking all the anxiety out of the hamstring. I'm just working the front of the quad. Remember to keep the hips down. This is lovely. Oh, why don't we do this one more? This is awesome. Yeah. 2 more breaths. And last one. Lightly release the leg and come back up. If you had the left leg forward, we're all going to just join in. Left leg back to meet the right and come straight into a downward facing dog. Shift the hips side to side, a little wiggle. Then jump your feet to the hands. Let's come forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop the chest towards the thigh. Inhale all the way to standing. Reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Step the left leg back. Keep the right leg forward. Crescent lunge. Crescent lunge here, arms wide. And bringing the right arm forward, straight. Bring the left arm underneath. And we'll take a warrior, crescent lunge, with Garudasana arms. Lift to the sky here. And then exhale, pull the elbows in, shift the weight forward onto the right leg into our warrior 3 with Garudasana arms, hips are square. Hold, unwind the arms, let them float all the way back into a jet airplane and bring the arms to the floor. Inhale, bend both knees in a curtsy here, knee to knee. Exhale, push the floor away. This is our standing split, free-form split. Inhale, knees together. Exhale, press into the floor with the right leg. Left leg elevates very strongly. One more time. Inhale, knees together. Exhale, press and hold. 3, 2, wrap the hand around the ankle. And 1, lift the torso, lower the left leg to meet the right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop in and down. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Rise up. Palms together, hands to heart center. Very nice. And then step the right leg back into a high crescent lunge. Inhale, the arms overhead. Exhale, take the arms wide. Bring the left elbow in. Right arm comes underneath the left elbow and they cross at the center. Give yourself a hug. Walk the fingers back so you get that deep crossing. And then bring the forearms so they're parallel to each other and vertical. Back of the hands touching or wrapping the palms together. Inhale, lift vertically, elbows away from the heart. Hold 3, hold 2, go till 10:30 today. Hold 1 and then pull the elbows into the heart and send the weight forward to the left leg. Keep your right leg on the right side of the mat and then simply lift it into a warrior 3, Garudasana arms. I have a slight bend in my front knee. This is more like a skater's pose, and that's going to build strength and stamina in the hip. I'm going to unfurl the arms and then straighten the leg. Full warrior 3. Slowly lowering towards the earth. Bring one hand and the other. Blocks could be super helpful at this point. And then curtsy. So we're bending both knees in. That's a little break, isn't it? Wiggle the hips and then press straight up to the sky, evenly through both feet. Inhale here, we release resistance. Exhale, resist the floor, resist the ceiling with opposition. Inhale, come in. Exhale, press to the sky. And hold 3. Wrap hand around the ankle. 2. Other hand around the ankle if you want to balance. 1. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower right leg to meet the left. Ooh, shift the hips out a little bit. Inhale, flat back. Hands to the waist. Exhale. And inhale all the way to standing. Shake the legs out again. Wow. Okay. So before we go into full Hanumanasana, I want to stretch the hip and the hip flexor. We're going to pigeon. Several variations of this. Pick the one that works the best for you. Inhale. Arms overhead. Exhale. Forward fold. You bend the knees to get there. Inhale. Step the left leg back. Right foot over to the left hand. So I'm going classic pigeon here. The knee bends over to the right hand and we're lowering down. And that just feels super good. So right hip is opening and feeling the deeper stretch. Blanket underneath here if you like. Block. My block's too big. Or nothing at all. Walk the hands forward. You're on the elbows. And hold here. 3, 2, and 1. Bend the back knee. And then take the hands upright. You're going to bring a block outside the right thigh. Press into the block, reach around. Same hand to foot. And we'll take that even deeper stretch for the quad. 3rd time. Wowzer. And if you feel support, this front shin back knee are hugging, you could extend the right arm out or to the sky. Back heels coming in. Or simply keep a hand on the block. And we'll gently release the back leg from wherever stance it's in. So you know where you're going to your complete edge. Stay with the edge. If we go off the edge, then it it hurts, right? Because then we get injured. So the edge is great. Off the edge, not so great. Let's free up the front knee, step back. And we'll take this to the second side. So the left leg coming forward. The shin diagonally graces your mat from the left to the right side. And then shift the hips. So you want to broaden the left hip. Turn the right hip towards the heel, if that's fine on your knee. So I'm going to show on the second side some options. So instead of in a pigeon here, we could do seated pigeon, where I bring the back leg around. This takes the stress off your SI joint. And then I'm going to ankle cross over the thigh and bring the thigh towards the chest, chest towards the thigh. The key here is getting the spine long so that you feel it in your hip, right? Maybe your inner thigh is a little tight too, and you might feel it there as well. No worries. Okay, and then a third way is just to lay all the way onto your back and into a figure four. And there's probably a fourth way to do that too. I like this one, hands, elbows, and we're gonna come back up. For those of you who are seated, stay there. And then bend the back knee. Hand on the block, which is just outside the knee. Reach around, take a hold of the foot. Okay, if you've got a good grasp of the foot, I'm going to start to bring it in, and the elbow reaches up to the sky. Once the heel comes a little closer, I can spin my hand around and use it as leverage, because it's going to push. I get a little stronger push of the heel coming in towards the glute. Raise the arm. Yes, I've been practicing this all week. And get that quad so open, because it's not that way by chance for sure. It takes deep work just for a minute, right? Deep work just for a minute, and then release, and your quad is in love with you again. Let's step back, downward facing dog. Oh, yes. All right, here we go. Right leg to the sky. There's some freedom. Bend it, bring it all the way through. Back knee gently to the floor, and take a runner stretch. We have not done this one yet. So really getting a little deeper informed in our hamstring. Dig the heel in and pull the hip back. So that action of digging the heel in and pulling back is the action we want in Hanumanasana. This is a half split. So some friends are going to stay here in the half split. If you feel inclined, you can reach the heel forward. And then I'm going to use my back toe, lift the knee, and start shifting myself back, inner thigh spinning down. And I'm supporting myself, my body weight with the arms until I come all the way down. Pull the heel back. Remember, I just want that same action. Hello, kitty. And bring the arms inside. Not quite to the ground yet. Hold 2 more breaths. Oh, yeah. And hold last breath. And then bring it all the way back up. Push into the block. Lift the hips. Free the leg. Oh, if only we had, like, you know, a strap around the waist, a little pulley system. Then we could crank it and whoop, whoop, lift ourselves up. But yep, that doesn't happen. So we have to do it ourselves. Okay, just a side note. Oh, now left leg reaching up. There's some freedom right there again. Step all the way through. Into a runner stretch now on the left side. So we're straight in the front leg. Use of the block is super handy. If you don't have a block, just come upright. Put something under the knee so it's not heavy weighted on the knee. Then dig the heel in and pull back. If you lean slightly forward, right there, I'm in sensation. Can certainly feel it in my hamstring for sure. So you don't have to go that far to feel the extension. But some friends are going to want to practice going into that full split. Now, here's an option for you. Keep your right knee at 6 o'clock and then shift your leg off to 11 instead of straight forward at 12. Shift it off a little bit between 10 and 11 o'clock. Then start pushing forward. So my feet are on opposite sides of the mat corners, and I can get into it a little bit easier, right? That's a little bit of off-centeredness. Alternatively, you could have a block underneath and resting on the block. If you can take a couple deep breaths with the hamstring supported by the block. Oh yeah, more power to you. That feels really wonderful. And then extend it out. You know, we've been working since April, and this is our first Hanumanasana challenge. Bear with me. Like, give yourself some room to grow into this posture, right? Instead of the frustration of what am I not doing? It's what can I do? Okay, what can I do? That's a whole different perspective. We're going to come out of this slowly and gently, pulling the heel back. You're going to be so happy to know that we are going to the floor now, right? Take the hips back. Let's take a puppy pose here, forehead to the mat, arms forward. If that's comfortable, stay here. If you'd like to take a child's pose, that's an option. See which one feels the best to you at this time. I'm taking child's and bending the elbows because I want a deep tricep stretch. They got some love and work this morning, and so that feels really good to stretch it out. And we'll come back onto the hands and knees, slide the feet through, and come to a seated pose. We're going to hold the knees in a diagonal position, the feet on the ground. So we're making what looks like a W or an M. There's the M. If you put your hands back, kickstand this option, and then bend the elbows. Pull the low belly in, lift the heart, and then lift one foot and then the other. So the lifting of both feet really requires this muscle work. And if this muscle in the front body, your abs, does not work, you're going to feel it in your low back. So please bring a toe back to the earth until you can feel this muscle. Keep talking to it. Keep talking to it. Draw in. Start at the pubic bone and pull upward towards the navel. And then broaden the shoulders so you can bring both toes off the ground. And you may start with both toes on the earth. And just keep hollowing out the belly. Keep hollowing out the belly. Hold for another 5 breaths here. Toes up or down. Arms support, or they can come out. Legs extend, or they can be bent. So you can see how we're progressing through to really ignite and tone the navel, the belly. Bring the knees in. Exhale, feet flat on the floor. Wrap the elbows around the knees. Take a big lift through the spine as you push down through the sit bones. Then exhale, reverse that action and let the forehead come to the knees. And let the elbows soften and get a whole deep back stretch. Hold. And one thing we did not quite get into was frog. If you're looking for, we'll do that next time. Let's bring the elbows to the earth. We're going to tuck the tailbone under. So in lieu of those deeper stretches, we're taking time to enhance the quality of our abs, our core, both the front and the back. So we'll bring one knee up, that same energy, pull down, navel towards the spine, lift up out of the shoulders, one foot and then the next. Stay here if you are comfortable and connected with the abs, okay? Otherwise, you can extend the legs to the sky and then start pulling the legs forward 30 degrees, 60 degrees. The more level they are to the earth, the harder it is for the abs. So we'll just stay in this position. And then I'll show you, if you've got the toes tapped on the ground, either one is great. We're just going to shift the knees or the legs over to the left. And then if you'd like, bring the right arm out. So we're holding here. I know, I don't make these things up. Literally, I don't. Sometimes I do. Okay, come back to center. Give it a little rest. Pull knees in. Whew. And then back out. Shift the legs over to the right. Hold. Now you could bend the knees here. So if you're quivering, it just means you're working. Awesome. Okay, bend the knees if you like. And if you want to challenge, take the left arm out. Ta-da! We're right here and we're holding, and yes, this is so intense for my abdominals. I'm feeling it so much. Come back to center, bend the knees, ooh, and release the feet to the floor. That's it though. It took us less than a minute to do that. How cool is that? That's a minute well spent, I think. Oh yeah, and then release into the floor. So we're gonna open the hip flexors and the belly by coming into bridge. Lift the hips. I'm having so much fun with this. Lift the hips. Oh, hey, if you remember your block, let's bring the block into the upper thigh. Squeeze the block, push down through the feet. Now that creates a different energy, right? The tone is drawing inward instead of letting it go outward. Okay, so you've got to hold that invisible block. Or if you have a block, the physical block. Squeeze and tone. Inner thighs towards each other. Push down through the feet. Lift the hips. Press the shoulders broad and wide. Broad and wide, I guess, are the same thing. Yeah, I just want you to doubly do it. And then press the back of the head into the floor. I like my elbows in like a robot position because I can push down. And that gives me more space underneath. Yeah, well, just hold for another breath or two. Okay, scoot your feet in a little bit closer and then reach the right leg out. And slide it back underneath you. Use your hamstrings. Of course my legs are tired. Yes, let's do it. Do what you can. Come back up. And then fold that leg in and under and release all the way to the floor. Remove the block. If you don't have a set of blocks, I really urge you to purchase some. They are very helpful. And the blocks that I really love are the ones from Hugger Mugger, or the ones, these are actually Hugger Mugger blocks because they're firm yet soft. And I also like the ones from Manduka, so my two favorite. Let's take a happy baby. So we're going to split the knees, unhinge the legs so the feet are facing the sky, and then reach the arms up around the outside of the foot and press down on the feet as the feet push up into the hands. And you can give it a little side to side wiggle. Oh, it was so fantastic today. Thank you for joining me. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to stay in this happy baby, but extend the left leg to the sky and then reach it all the way to the floor. You may want to bend your knee to bring the heel down and then press the thigh bone down, inner thigh towards the floor, and extend that leg all the way as much as possible to the ground. Keeping your right heel to the sky. So some friends are going to want to just ricochet right here. We have to hold, get that whole inner thigh stretch. If that's too much, bend your bottom leg. Okay. From here, lift the left leg up to the sky. Pull your right knee into the chest. It hasn't changed. We're going to cross the left leg all the way over, circle it around, big circle back to center, and cross. 3 of these. That's already 2. And 1 more. Catch the left foot, send your right leg to the sky, lower to the ground, bending the knee till the heel touches, and then slide the heel forward. And notice the point at which the hamstring is giving its all, right? And then we start to ricochet, the knee starts to bend. So hold that space, hold the edge, right? Don't go beyond it. And some friends are going to get that leg all the way straight, and other friends are going to have it bent. It's your anatomy, it's your body, it's your choice. Absolutely. Bring the right leg back up, cross over to the left, and circle. 1, 3 circles, 2, yeah, and 3. Catch the foot. Release the legs all the way to the earth. Take the feet wide and drop the knees over to your left. Nice, easy spinal twist here. And then hold for a breath. And back up to center, over to the right. And I like to just let my head roll. Like it automatically loves to roll in the opposite direction, which is great. Just make sure the neck and shoulders are relaxed. And we're not creating any tension. And come back to center and take a Shavasana. So you're going to reach your heels into the corner pocket of your mat, kind of let them rest there. And then wiggle the legs, let them come out, release and relax. And the energy of the arms will be relaxed state as well. You get to remain here for a good 3 to 5 minutes. 5 would be just simply luscious. Fully relaxed, fully released into the floor. And this week of Memorial Day weekend, we're just coming off of, may we memorialize those who have come before us with deep gratitude and honor them through our own actions, our own selfless acts of service, our own showing up day by day, minute by minute for ourselves, the strength we have, the inner strength to move forward, and for others. Think of your past heroes and heroines, how they have influenced your life, how they've been a stable guide, living or past. Let their face come to mind. Let their deeds and actions and words live in your heart. And send a deep message of love and gratitude. For it's their shoulders we stand on. It's their shoulders that create stability for our grounding, for us to move ahead in love, peace, and joy. What qualities do you admire most in your hero or heroine? Is it the courage to take a stand where others back away? Or is it the compassion to hold and hug one who may be hurting and feel tenderness towards the weakened or meek? We have the chance to be a hero and heroine every day in our own life, to hold the space for ourselves and others, to be that of courage, to stand up for what we know and believe in our heart is right action, following through, taking a stance for ourselves so that others can see our light and do the same. We are our own hero and heroine when we show love and compassion and forgiveness for past mistakes. But they do not define who you are, but rather define how you navigate forward, giving us new insights, new awarenesses, new lessons. It's the learning, the embracing, the wisdom of what has happened in order to take us forward, moving there with lots of love, compassion, holding the hands of those who've gone before and reaching a hand to those who are following in our footsteps. In this way, we all up-level together. Lengthen your in-breath. Let it out through the hips, shoulders, hamstrings, and thighs. With your awareness of the breath coming into the flow of the body and out through the flow, circulatory system of the body, wiggle the fingers and toes. Bring the knees into the chest. Roll to fetal position, one side or the other. Acknowledging the space you make for your own greatness. I make space for greatness. I'm happy, healthy, wealthy, and I share my gift of love to the world. Come seated to your mat, palms together in Anjali Mudra. We'll take the fierce gesture of Ganesha, bringing the elbows wide and hooking the fingers together, thumbs resting at the side of the hand. So in fact, my fingers are making a hook, if I can see that. And then hooking together. Pull the elbows wide as you breathe in, giving some resistance. The obstacles in our life may be seen as resistance, but they're growth patterns. Exhale, release the resistance. Let your perception melt away the facade of the big heaviness that might be blocking your way forward. Inhale, pull with resistance. Exhale and release. And in this way, we call on Ganesha power, the remover of obstacles, the placer of obstacles, to remind us the growth opportunity if we but see it in what seems heavy before us. And release the hands per position. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Thank you for your spirit, your presence, and your practice. Enjoy the journey each step of the way. Namaste. Please leave a comment on your YouTube, how you like this, how it spoke to you, and also on our Facebook. So thank you, Facebook people. Bye-bye. And thank you, YouTube people. Love you all so much. Mwah.